There is a road in Colorado that no engineer alive would approve today. It runs 25 miles between the old mining towns of Silverton and Ouray. It climbs to 11,000 feet on two narrow lanes, and on the drop side, there is nothing at all. There is no guardrail and barely a foot of shoulder, with a 500-foot fall inches from your mirror. And Colorado leaves it that way on purpose. This road has been taking lives since before the automobile existed. In 1886, the mail carrier started up this road with 16 mules, and none of them ever came back. And here is the part nobody can explain, because almost none of the people who die here go over the edge. They die while parked or standing on the pavement, doing everything right. Their cars are not found at the bottom of the gorge, because they are found buried on the road itself. And some of the people are not found for weeks, while one of them was not recovered until the snow melted in May. This is the million-dollar highway, and almost nothing about it has a straight answer. Start with the name, because nobody can agree on where it came from. One story says a traveler was asked if he would ever drive it again, and he answered, "Not for $1 million." Another says the name is the price, because every mile of it had to be blasted out of solid rock. And one story says the answer is underneath your tires. When they built the roadbed, they packed it with waste rock hauled out of the mines, or that everyone believed was worthless. The gold still in that gravel is said to be worth $1 million, and nobody has ever dug up the road to check. But the deepest mystery here is what keeps killing people who never go near the edge, and the plow drivers know its name. The man who built it was a 5-foot-tall Russian orphan named Otto Mears, who charged $5 a wagon to use it. That is about $150 today, and travelers paid those tolls inside tunnels dug through avalanche wreckage. On a Sunday morning in March of 1963, 77 years after the mail carrier vanished, it happened again. Reverend Marvin Hudson was driving to Silverton to preach with his daughters, 17-year-old Amelia and 11-year-old Pauline. He stopped and knelt in the snow to put chains on his tires, which is exactly what he was supposed to do. He was not speeding, and he was nowhere near the edge, because he had pulled over to be safe. The slope above him had already slid once that day, but in 1963, there were no forecasts and no warnings at all. Then it came down a second time and swept the car, the Reverend, and both of his girls into the ravine. It took rescuers a full week to find his body, and another week beyond that to find Amelia. Pauline was 11 years old, and the mountain did not give her back until the 30th of May. 2 years earlier, a Swiss expert had told Colorado exactly how to stop this slide by building a concrete shed over the road. Nobody built it, and whatever was doing this had not finished, because next it came for the men paid to fight it. In March of 1970, it killed plow operator Robert Miller, and 8 years later it killed Terry Kishbaugh, who was 28. 1886, 1963, 1970, and 1978 all happened inside the same 100 feet of road. That is not bad luck. That is one slope above one curve doing the same thing to whoever stands beneath it. Every driver who took a plow up that pass knew the names of the men who went before them, and they went anyway. On the 5th of March in 1992 came the worst avalanche night this highway has ever seen. More than 60 avalanches came down across 5 miles of this road. Ouray was buried under 4 feet of snow, and the pass was closed, but travelers were still trapped up there in the dark. So 2 men went up to bring them down, plow foreman Eddie Immel and his partner Danny Jaramillo. A tire chain broke on the plow, and the 2 men climbed out into the storm to fix it. They were standing in the open on that same 100 feet of road when it released above them. Eddie Immel was killed, and he was the 3rd plow driver to die on that exact spot. Danny Jaramillo was buried alive 20 feet down in snow packed as hard as concrete. Nobody was coming for him, because the storm made rescue impossible while the whole pass was still firing. But Danny had one thing in the dark with him, and that was a flashlight. So he used it as a shovel. For 18 hours, he dug straight up through 20 feet of debris, inches at a time, until he finally hit daylight. He walked away from his own grave, and he is the only one this thing has ever given back. And now you can have its name, because the plow crews call it the East Riverside Slide. It is one avalanche path out of the 160 that cross these 20 miles. That makes this the most avalanche-prone highway in the lower 48, and East Riverside is the one that keeps hitting the road. After Eddie died, Colorado declared war, and the state now fires artillery into these slopes to bring the snow down on schedule. And over that 100 feet of road, they finally built the shed the Swiss expert had asked for back in 1961. Critics say it is only 15% as long as it should be, but since forecasting began in '92, nobody has died. So if you drive the million-dollar highway, there are 4 rules that keep you off the list. Rule 1 is to check the pass before you go, since Colorado only closes this road when the mountain above it is loaded. Rule 2 is to never stop under an open slope in winter, not for photographs and not even for tire chains. Rule 3 is to respect the plows, because the crews clearing this road have buried 3 of their own on it. Rule 4 is to drive it in summer, because the gold may be below the pavement, but the danger is always above it. 3 crosses still stand beside that road for a preacher and his 2 girls. Read them and then keep moving, because on this road, the mountain is always watching.